in every direction. It's tricky. It gets very overwhelming. It is very easy to mix up people's names, information, and you're like, hey, Todd, how's your kids today? And he's like, I don't have kids. And you're like, oh yeah, totally. No, I meant like, your dog. Your dogs or your kids? Am I right? He's like, what are you talking about? Okay. And then you're like, I don't know, gotta go. Bye. And you totally just ruined it. You butchered it. There is nothing worse than talking to someone and then you realize they don't know who you are. They don't know your name. They have so many other people talking to them that you're just a number on the list. Right? And honestly, like I was dating somebody where when we first originally met, even though we had been talking online here and there, he was very interested in me and I was not. At the time I was talking to someone local. He was further away, and so I literally just kept friend zoning him over and over and over again. And bless his heart, he was like so persistent, like, nope, you will date me. And the funny thing is we met in person. I didn't recognize him based off his one profile picture. I had made a judgment based off one profile picture that I was like, no thanks. There's distance, there's this and that, and then there's your picture, right? Like total jerk. So what happened was when we met in person, he kept talking to me and calling me by name, and I was just like, who is this person? And I kept trying to figure it out. And so finally I was like, okay, and this is like an hour or two into it. I was like, hey, like, you keep calling me Ashley. So like if I were to call you something, what would I call you? And the poor guy was just like, are you serious? You don't know who I am? And we've been like talking back and forth this whole time. And I was like, yeah, my bad, bro. And then once he said who he was, I was like, no freaking way. You're kidding. And he even was like, okay, since you just did me dirty like that, I'm going to do you a little dirty. And he pulled up messages and he was like, yeah, look right here when you friend zoned me just the other day. And I was like, oh, what's up? But his confidence and the way that he didn't give up, and he wasn't aggressive about it, but he was just like, no, you will give me a chance. You will get to know me. You will know who I am. And, I grew to love that guy. It was a great relationship. And so my point is don't end up being that girl who meets somebody who's like, wait, who are you again? What, you got kids, a dog, you're a policeman, you're a taxidermy person, I don't know, whatever. Don't just like mumble things waiting for them to respond and be like, oh yeah, that you, good times, right? So here's what you do. Here's what I learned to do. If you are trying to talk to multiple people, I got down to the point where I had you saved in my phone contacts with a contact picture, because nothing helps and is easier than seeing a face and knowing, oh yeah, okay, this guy. You might still not know their name, but at least you'll know what they look like, which can trigger conversations you've had. I would save them by their first name, their age, their location, sometimes their job, or if they had kids or not. Whatever I could squeeze in the contact title for your name, I put it there. So you could have been David, 32, Arizona. I don't know why I keep saying Arizona as if like I've ever dated anyone in Arizona. But, daughter, whatever. So it's like, and then boom, picture. It's like, okay, cool. So I remember that this guy lives far away or whatever. Or, Stan, 27, California, cop. and then I would even go as far as, like Josh, 34, Tind. Tind was like my short way of saying we met on Tinder. But like if anyone had picked up my phone, I didn't want them to read like blah 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 Tinder 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 Tinder. So I felt like it hit it like a little bit more if I just wrote tind or tin. Maybe that was like my own way of convincing myself nobody would know. But I literally did that, and then I realized this is so degrading. These guys, that I might be the only one they're talking to, and maybe not. But if I am, I don't even know who they are until I read their whole thing, because I have so many people I'm wrapped up in that I don't even give you the courtesy to know you and remember you. Like, that's messed up. I was in a messed up place. But that's how I mastered it, and I was able, I would go through once I was done with you, I just would say, okay, thanks, take care, bye, whatever it was, however it ended. I would delete their contact information, and so I was constantly deleting contacts, which is awkward because for some reason I feel like guys are hardcore on saving phone numbers, and they will just like, boom, come out of nowhere and be like, hey girl, and you're like, who is this? Like, it's me, Jacob. You're like, who? Because you don't have their number saved anymore, and you're like, please, you are like so 20 guys ago. Or what? Or even if it's just like 2 or 3 people ago. I swear, I don't know what it is with guys and saving numbers, but I swear they will definitely, when they're lonely and they're like, hey, I haven't been able to connect with anyone else since this person, bam, they will show up back in your life. So, yes, but that is degrading. It's a good trick. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty proud of myself. I was pretty proud of myself, but that's the problem. Is I value that more than I value these human beings, these individuals, because I didn't have that confidence or self-worth. I didn't think that I was good enough to just be with one person, that they would keep me around. So I had to have my backups. I had to have other options available. When somebody wasn't available, specifically just because they're like, oh, sorry, I've got work tonight, or whatever it is, I can't hang out. Then I'd be like, okay, no worries, I'll just like watch a movie or whatever. Psych, that was me saying, all right, well, next, like, take a freaking number. And I was so consumed in it, and I wasn't paying attention to the real world and what was going on around me, because I didn't care. I didn't care at all, because I was putting myself in these situations where I was desperate for affirmation. If you told me I was pretty, if you told me I was funny and you were into me, or this or that, whatever it was, I was like, all right, cool, what's up? I'm going to keep you on the back burner. But I'm going to focus on someone who's I feel is more attractive, or location-wise is closer, or whatever it may be. I'm going to talk to them first and focus on them. And every now and then just like shoot you out a little tidbit like, hey, what's up? Thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. Just to keep you around, so that when my front runner was done and gone with, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm so glad we've been talking for so long and building this strong connection. I think it's time we meet. And you'd fall for it. But I was playing a game. So, dating apps can destroy who you are. They can destroy relationships. You never know how many other people this person is talking to. It is just so easy to lie about who you are, what you do for a living, what you even look like. Then you get into catfishing, and some people who don't know what's catfishing. Catfishing is when you think you're talking to somebody specific. Let's say a guy's talking to a girl, Brittany or whatever, and she pretends or says she's like, I don't know, 20 years old, works at Walmart or whatever, and he's like, yeah, girl, like, I like seeing you at Walmart or whatever, although that was not a good example. Ignore everything I just said. because he would not have seen her if it was a catfish. What I'm saying is, okay, sorry. What I'm saying is if you think you're talking to one person online, if you think you're talking to Brittany who works at Walmart, and then, but you never like visually see that person if you're not doing chat videos, Skype, Facebook stuff, scoping out their life and actually talking to them. And then after all this time you've invested with this person, you care about them, you love them, you're in an online relationship with them. And then all of a sudden you finally go to meet them and they're like, psych, my name is Jamal. And you were talking to some dude in like Kentucky or whatever. And he's like, ha ha ha, joke's on you. My name's not Brittany. It's like, no freaking duh. Okay, so avoid any of those situations because that's just like yowza. So if you're going to do the online dating, be smart about it. Do your research. Be approachable. Be confident. Do not put yourself out there for just sex. That is instantly degrading yourself. Girls think, hey, we know best that sex sells. So here is a sexy picture of me. And here's all these cleavage shots and these different angles and blah, 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 blah. And guys are like, yeah, what's up, baby? You know, how you doing tonight? You know, you want to hook up, hit it, quit it, booty call, friends with benefits, whatever. And then these girls are like, oh my gosh, did you seriously just talk to me like that? Like, how dare you? You know, and you're like, how does he, why would he talk to me like that? Like I was talking about earlier. Yeah, duh. Look what you're posting. Look at these pictures. Pictures with your cleavage out and you're in a tight, short dress doesn't say, I'm looking for a gentleman to take me to church every Sunday and meet my mom. And we're going to make casseroles and feed our family every night at family dinner. Blah. Okay? That's not what that says at all. So why are you offended when they approach you that way? You are selling yourself in this image that you are sexy and fun and vivacious, and those are all fine, but not right off the bat. Leave them wanting more and wondering what else you have to offer, and let them get to know you as a person. So, dating apps, be smart about it, be approachable, know who you're talking to, try to do video chats or whatever it may be, FaceTime, Facebook videos, whatever, to know that that is truly who you're talking to. Don't degrade people because it gets you in this vicious cycle and you put yourself out there in a negative light, and it's very easy to degrade others and degrade yourself within a matter of seconds. And with that being said, I'm going to read my personal poem about Tinder. And this is a personal experience I have had when I was deep into my sex addiction and I did not know my worth. I thought, well, if I'm not good enough to keep around because of my personality, then at least I can have my body. At least they enjoy that and they'll accept me for that. Like, what a horrible way to think, first of all. Like, just saying that out loud is so embarrassing, I feel like, because it's just like, how did I let myself get so low? And it's so easy. Just like I was talking about, it is so easy to become consumed in this when you don't know that you are above it, you have worth, you are valued much higher than you give yourself credit for, because we are our own worst critics. And that you truly are a beautiful person or a handsome guy, and you have so much more to offer. So much more than your body. So with that said, here's my poem called Tinder. Tall, dark, and handsome, so I swipe right. You look like you'd provide a good night. And just like that, we're a match. For me, another number, I'll add you to the batch. I've learned it's my body and not my soul. Sleeping with me is your number one goal. At first that was hard. It didn't make sense. Was I a target? Did I seem dense? One after another, it was all clear. If you're going to treat me like crap, let me first have a beer. Just a little buzz to make me feel numb, to feel good about just wanting to get some. Few men would be sweet and non-stop compliment me. But that was uncomfortable. A jerk I needed you to be. That's all I know is abuse